There is something stirring in the forests of Sri Lanka. A presence felt, not seen. Even mighty elephants are agitated by the sentiment. Their restlessness ripples throughout the sanctuary, sending smaller species dashing for the cover of the undergrowth. The Veddhas, ancestral guardians of this land, have been anticipating the spectre's arrival. Even with all the intimate bonds they share with the wild, they still fear this one ghost of the forest and prepare themselves just in case. Like a ripple moving through the island's dry savanna and tropical evergreen bush, across rocky outcrops and desolate hills, the spectre is on the move. For this is the season of the spirit bear, a creature whose life history is a heady concoction of flesh and blood, myth and legend. Equatorial dawn reveals open plains, slow burned by a tropical sun. This landscape is typical of the island's interior. A chaotic mix of thorny scrub, grasslands and hardwood forest. Although it's only mid-morning, the heat is already burning up the air, creating a liquid haze over the plains. This may not seem like an ideal place for life to thrive, but it is here. These are the Veddhas, the people of the forest. They are the last of a dying race, island aborigines whose clans were once widespread throughout Sri Lanka's wilderness. One of the most important tools for the Veddhas is the oral tradition of survival, knowledge gained by one generation and passed down to the next. It's an essential tool, not just for finding food, but also evading danger. As presiding chieftain over the remaining clans, Chief Wanya has worked hard to preserve this tradition. Veddha hierarchy dictates that the chief speaks on behalf of his people in all matters and maintains and enforces rules that have been passed down through the ages. And one of the most important rules is respect for the animals that share their forest home.
The weak, the injured, pregnant and feeding mothers, the very young and very old. We don't take these. Even though it is part of our lifestyle, I have been trying to reduce the amount of hunting that my people do. If we overhunt, the next generation will have no future.
The hunter-gatherers march through a country dominated by lumbering giants. Elephants take the heat in their stride, treading a well-worn path along dried-out savanna in constant search for food. After countless centuries of living side by side with giants, The Veddhas know that now is not the time to be caught out in the open. And elephants are the least of their concerns. Leopard surveys his kingdom. He's reserving his energy, waiting out the midday heat for the coolness of night. Time has caught up with the old warrior. As he gradually withdraws from the spotlight, younger blood moves in, ready to take his place. At almost a year old, these cubs are spending more and more time away from their mother. The forest is a strange and unfamiliar place to them, and in the next few months, they'll have to hone the skills necessary for survival before they reach independence. It's more than likely their father is the old male on the hill. But even though they may share the same blood, they're on their own when it comes to carving out a territory for themselves. Although they'll inevitably part company, brother and sister will still rely on their mother and each other for another year or so, before they finally venture onto the plains as independent adults. But until then, the first lesson they have to learn is the most valuable. Although the leopard's reign over Sri Lanka's forests may seem undisputed, there is another resident here that even the mighty cats must avoid. The Veddhas know this creature. In a world ruled by spirits, this is their greatest adversary. A silent trigger has drawn it out from the cover of the trees and into the open. So the men can now forage safely in the deeper parts of the forest. But unbeknown to the cubs, they're wandering right into its path. The heat haze is overwhelming, and the herds of deer and buffalo head towards the park's further boundaries, where the mighty Mahawali River continues to flow. The drought has transformed forests and plains throughout the entire island. The wilderness seems completely stifled by the burning sun. And yet, at the peak of the drought, trees now blossom with life. In silent response, a shadow drifts across the plains, heading towards this sudden burst of color. The spirit there has awoken.